feeling?
How do I look?
Great.
Oh, great. Hello and welcome. Today we're checking out a pump track we're doing a resurface on. It hasn't been worked on in a year, so we're coming back and we're redoing, in the process of redoing everything. And so I wanted to show you what that entails. And let's take a look. So we got this berm. This berm's pretty much finished. It needs a little bit of touch up, but 99% done. And we got some rollers here. And we just slapped in this berm right here, so you can see it's still a little wet. We're going to let that dry a little more before we do the final pack. Probably going to touch it up again today. But redoing all this has all been raked and resurfaced. So I want to talk a little bit about the resurfacing process. So let's step over here to this. This berm right here, we just cut the top off, but if you get down here real close, you can see like there's a bunch of rock and stuff, and we got to rake that all out because the new dirt won't stick to it. You'll have a lot of rock and particulate. It's not very sticky. There's not a lot of clay in there, so we want to get that rejuvenated. So we're going to take off the very top of it, which is really rounded out. And then we're also going to rake this out. And we're going to put a little bit more steepness on this berm to carry more speed through the whole thing. So I'll show you what we do. So a metal rake just right here. And just go rough and just rake all this up. I'm going to give it a little bit of force. So you can use the rake. We are going to steepen it, so I'm going to grab my flathead here. Grab this guy. And I'll put a little more angle on it. Especially right here in the middle. I'm going to cut into it pretty deep. And go a little bit steeper right where you need the berm to catch you. And then relax it out right here. Right as you ease into it. Cool. So that's kind of the basic first part. Then as we got kind of a good line going on here, we're going to start stacking it up on the top. But that's how you get started. You can see the dirt has some, it's a little bit more brown. So it's got a little bit of moisture in it, so it's ready to work with. One thing I did, when you're working with packed dirt, you want to water it a bunch of times, multiple times. Water it like 2 or 3 times before you even start working on it. If it's loose dirt, then you need to add water and mix it in, so it gets mixed in there, or you make mud. So that's kind of like just getting that going. Let's cut into this. One thing I'm doing with the shovel is I'm just using this corner edge. I'm just doing like 1 inch at a time. That allows me to make a nice smooth curve. Let's get into a little bit of shovel skills. Oh yeah, look at that. So that berm's going to be perfect. We're going to make it a little taller, a little bit nicer. Then I'll show you, we got this berm right here. We're doing the same thing, but we wanted to go a little more extreme and make it taller and a lot steeper. Right there. So that's that. We still got to do this berm, so we got to rough it up. Or I mean, not berm, but we got a roller double right here. And we got to rough that up, and then we're going to add a little bit of dirt to this, just a little bit of resurfacing dirt. But yeah, if you're redoing your pump track, just make sure you're roughing everything up, getting down to the clay, rejuvenating it, maybe getting a little bit of extra clay. What we did is we put a lot of extra clay in our berms. Then when we come in, you could just scrape out your berm, or cut them a little steeper. Maybe you've gotten better over time, so you can make the berms steeper, and then you got extra dirt. And also, once it gets established and really packed and ridden in, then you can cut stuff a lot thinner. And that's kind of what we're doing with this, is just cutting into it a little bit more, getting things a little steeper, and then that gives us the dirt to work with as well. So, yeah, we got this cool feature over here. I'll show you this. This goes around the tree. One thing when we made this, we were able to do is just put a chain around the tree and make a radius and go all the way around. So the circle comes out perfectly. But this is a year old, and you can see like these edges they're pretty well eroded. On these last two features we got to work on, and they just need a little bit of love. But we'll cut into them, do a little bit of this, a little bit of straightening up, neatening up house. Boom. Throw it on top. That's done. Another thing that's super helpful is a radius tool. So I pick a specific radius to the roller I'm going to use, and then I use this guy. To match it up and make sure it's at least close. One big mistake people make when they do rollers is they make them too peaky. Once you get up to speed, you're not going to be able to pump. It's going to want to launch you. It's going to be a lot harder to stick to the ground. So making sure these don't get too peaked out. And I got this gauge. You just scrape it, flip it, and then scrape down here as well. You can see how that fits in there really nice. We don't have really much of a gap. We got a little bit of low spot right there, but it gets us a lot closer, a lot quicker, and it just helps tremendously when building. But that's a little bit of like annual maintenance. Sean and I are working on this. To give you an idea, we're probably going to be doing 10 hours, so about 20 man hours. And we've been doing this for years, so we know what to do. So 20 man hours going into this, 2 5-hour days to come in and redo the whole track. If you're a little bit less experienced, you might want to budget a little bit more time, maybe twice as much, until you get your shovel skills dialed. But that's it. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. I got other videos on there about bike riding, especially if you're riding in Denver. I'm going to be putting a lot more building tutorials out. So thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. And Sean, say hi.
Hi.
Hold on, we got to get Sean in the video. Sean's the #1 helper. Check out those pit stains, sweat stains. Flex it. Okay, this guy's stay G-rated.
Of course.
And we'll just do one more quick pan around here so you can get an idea. We got this berm here. Pan around. Did these mirroring berms here. We built this last year, and this year we're coming back and doing the redo. It's pretty nice. Did a lot of nice landscaping after we built. They came in and did this landscaping. We'll do a shot up here. Sean, any words?
No, not really.
Any advice for the kids?
Stay stoked.
We'll get an overview of the whole track. We'll go up here. You can kind of see what we got going on. Cool. That's it. That's a pump track. All right. Thanks for joining us, and have a good evening.